At the time of recording this, it's almost Halloween. I want to open this up by saying that the purpose of this video is not to antagonize non-paid work, but to help you recognize when it's worth it to do free work or to decline it to protect you and your time. I find this especially relevant with creatives. So the last video, which is right there if you're not watching this on TV, covered pricing. But this video is going to cover when there's no price at all. So free projects are going to hit you at all kind of angles, right? I'm looking for someone to collab with. It'll lead to paid work. IMDb credit, woo! And for this next one, sing along if you know it, exposure. They actually make an EET card. It's like an EBT card, but exposure. But it doesn't work anywhere because exposure is not currency. I'm sorry, y'all. Whenever I get the exposure sales pitch, I don't care. At least anymore. In the past couple of years, if he came to me with the whole exposure sales pitch, IMDb credit, all that, and I took it, I did it out of the kindness of my heart because either I with you or the project was just cool. Maybe it didn't put a lot of stress on me. I'm beyond being hungry for exposure. I'm all about walking into a business, showing my value, finding the holes in their business, and then winning the project. And then showcasing that project as my exposure after being paid for it. And it totally sounds like I'm antagonizing free projects right now, but just bear with me. Now, free projects are typically more fun and you probably have more creative control over it because since the person's not paying you, they don't really have any grounds to boss you around. You might even run into a project that's free now but has a big reward later. But you know, there's also the reality of life has to be paid for every day. So when you do that, you have to figure out what can I do to still put this time aside but still make sure I'm good to go financially. And lately, thank you God, I've been getting booked pretty consistently. And if you're in the same boat, you know that it's pretty hard to prioritize the free project over your client work. And then after your client work, what comes second? The stuff that you're working on personally. So when you're taking on that free gig, there's going to be two things that you want to protect, and that's your reliability and your time. Along with your client work, we all have lives. I'm a dad, husband, I hang out, I do things for fun. And when you do have that project that may have some important people on there or some key people on there that if you do a good job really can lead to paid work, you don't want to come off as unreliable. It's one thing to actually be unreliable, but I'd hate for you to come off as unreliable because you're stretching yourself thin and taking on a project that literally isn't worth any of your stress when it comes down to it. Because I mean, let's face it, there's no compensation. So when taking on that free project, don't go saying yes to every single favor that's asked of you. It's just not feasible. Be transparent with that person or those people and make sure you can kind of take on this project and slide it right into your life without a stressful interruption. And that might come with letting that person know that, hey, you might want to recruit some other folks with my expertise to help keep your project afloat, just to make sure no one person gets stretched thin. But don't be afraid to say, hey, you know, my plate is full. I might not be the right person at this time. And hopefully they understand. I mean, even if they don't, I mean, that's on them. But you definitely want to go about agreeing to do a free project with someone that understands that your time is valuable and won't try to keep leeching favor after favor from you for free. Because I mean, if you don't have boundaries, a lot of people are going to do it. But if you're kind of over time being requested to do more and more and more, and it's taking up more and more and more of your time, be an adult and don't be afraid to drop the project. Because whether you like to say it out loud, it is f***ing with your income. You could be bringing in money, catering to your clients, reaching out to new clients, but meanwhile you're stressing over a project with no compensation. And as for me, I do have mouths to feed. I have a roof to keep over my head. I know it sounds cliche, but I have a roof to keep over my head and many monthly subscriptions and bills I pay just to be able to be a videographer. And all the resources I use to perform my paid gigs are inevitably going to be the same resources used to do the free gig. And these are resources that I've paid and pay for. So tangent aside, you can feasibly do free projects. See, I told you I was gonna get there. You can do that passion project, but keep the terms feasible to where you don't f yourself over trying to be nice. People leech every bit of nice. It's human nature. You're a free resource, but that's where you have to learn to set boundaries. But you may run into a stranger that kind of gives you the exposure pitch, and at the time you may not have much going on. The words are compelling, they're nice, and you're sold on it. And again, you don't have much going on, so you take it. That's on you. But I am gonna put this out there. My opinion on exposure is The only person ever really getting exposure for the project is the person the project belongs to. Like for me, as a filmmaker, videographer, I just don't think enough people watch a video and go, oh, who shot this? I must know. Somebody tell me who shot this video. This is incredible. Nah, it's really only gonna be like enthusiasts or something that really care about all the little technical aspects of the project. But all the credit's gonna go to that person you did it for. That just is what it is. And real talk, chances are, even if you're cool with the person, chances are they're not gonna run around town saying, oh, CM shot this video. Call him up, he did it for free. So while yeah, that person is probably gonna go out and let people know what a good job you did if it comes up, what you really were was just a super convenient way for that person to cut corners. It is what it is. It was a super convenient way for them to cut corners for their mission. And their mission is not to go get you exposure. And I've said this before, when you're taking a free project, just like any other project, you have to set boundaries and you have to set terms and conditions. Again, be transparent up front. And I say all this to say, just recognize when a free project is cool and actually worth it to you. And that comes with you deciding what is of value to you when it comes to a free project. Does this project meet your checklist of requirements for you to take it for free? Whether that's having more dope content you can post to advertise yourself, being able to experiment, maybe for you it is getting a Netflix deal. But if you haven't, just decide today, what about a free project makes it appealing to you? And knowing that is what's going to save you a lot of headaches in the future. You can't just take a free project just because it had an appealing sales pitch. You have to sit and decide, all right, these are my checklist of requirements for me to even consider doing a project for no money. And if that project doesn't meet those requirements, that's not the free project for you. Now, if you missed my video on pricing, check that out right here. Other than that, I'd really appreciate you if you subscribe. And I actually really want to hear if you guys have any stories on whether good or bad on when you took a free gig and how it went. And then I'll feature some of those stories in a future video. But until next time,